What if I told you there was a series with terrible writing, terrible visuals, terrible music, terrible voice acting, terrible characters, and overall had no positive traits on paper? That sounds like a really bad show, right? That sounds terrible. It sounds awful. Wrong. What I just described was RWBY, and it's amazing. Now buckle up, kids. It's time for another schizo rant about something I love. Last time, it was Twilight, which, by the way, is the peak of fiction. I fully believe that, and I always will. This time it's RWBY. Not quite peak fiction, but beloved by me all the same. And I want to start, I think this is how I started the last video, is how I got into RWBY. Well, I mean, obviously last time was how I got into Twilight. I got into RWBY because I was crushing on this girl big time. Oh boy, I had a big old crush on this girl, and she loved RWBY. She had talked about it a few times to me, and I was like, well, I want to get to know what this is all about. I want to be able to share this interest with her. So I watched the entire series with her, all 9 volumes. And we didn't end up working out, but eventually I realized something. At first, my enjoyment when watching RWBY was entirely just from spending time with her, but after a while, I was having fun because of the show itself. So I guess real quick, if you don't know what RWBY is, it's an animated series made by Rooster Teeth, which Rooster Teeth is kind of the devil, yucky, Satan, evil company of YouTube. They're dead now. So is RWBY, by the way. But yeah, RWBY's just an animated series that was made by Rooster Teeth. It's an online thing. I think it's pretty big in terms of its footprint, so most people know about it. And, you know, let's just jump right in. Let's eat the elephant in this room. Everything about this show is terrible. Visual style, writing, voice acting, characters, music, you name it. And RWBY has a god-awful version of it. It is amazing. I fucking love it. I guess I'll start with music, since that's one of the things I can't really bring over into video form. If I play the RWBY soundtrack, a fucking copyright demon will come to my house and kill my beloved cat. And that cat, I fished it out of a river. I actually didn't. That was a lie. Somebody else fished it out of a river, along with her 3 siblings, I think. But anyway, she's been with me for a long time, so I'm not risking it. I highly encourage you to go listen to it on your own time. It is unbelievable. I think that's the best word for it, because pretty much the entirety of the show, the first 8 volumes out of the 9 were made by the same dude, same people. And I guess props to them for sticking with the same music people for almost the entirety of the show, despite them seeming to know absolutely nothing about music. It is genuinely at the level of like a very bad garage band. And upon looking into it, I actually never looked into the music before like 5 minutes ago. The composer for the show, the vocalist in the music, is his daughter. So it's literally just like hilarious nepotism. It's so bad. It is genuine dog shit music, and I love it. It's 10 out of 10. It's in my personal playlist, and funnily enough, I actually had heard RWBY music before I'd ever watched an episode of the show or met that girl who introduced me to RWBY properly. Voice acting is another thing that's hard to show, but easy to explain, because obviously, I guess I could edit in like a 22-minute segment of just a million different examples of voice acting and it being inconsistent and all that, but all you really need to know is most of the voice acting in this show is done by either random people who worked on it, who aren't voice actors, or like low to mid-level English voice actors. But a good chunk, good solid, grabbable chunk of the characters in this show are voiced by people who are not voice actors at all. And it shows. Let's talk about characters. We got Yang. Wait, hold on. Rewind that. Ignore what I just said. I wasn't even talking. You guys sound so fucking crazy right now. I wasn't even talking. Shut up. Let's talk about characters, and we're going to start with Team RWBY, which are the main characters and the namesake of the show. We got Yang. She's the Y in RWBY. She's the dumb punch character. Got Blake. She's the B. Cringe emo bitch character. We got RWBY, the career fuck up leader of the group. The R. B is for Blake, by the way. Blake starts with B. And Weiss, the W, is a W. She's also rich. So I want to get the one thing off my chest right now. Adam is the best character in RWBY. I love Adam. Adam rocked. And he dies, which makes me sad. In fact, most of the characters that I liked in this show either died or became so annoying that I wish they had always been dead. One of my favorite characters turned into an annoying kid. One of my favorite characters turned into a crippled Hitler. One of my favorite characters just got eaten out of nowhere. And my favorite character, Adam, got killed by Blake and Yang, who are two of the worst characters. Blake being the worst, Yang being probably like third worst. So that was a real kick in my balls. That was like a slap in the face to my balls, my family legacy. Out of all of the Team RWBY characters, the ones I just went over, aside from Adam, he's like an honorary team member to me. The only one who is likable at all and has a half decent character arc is Weiss. I think for RWBY, like, I guess a quick backstory, RWBY and Yang are sisters. RWBY is for some reason younger than everybody else. Blake is like a shitty Nepo baby, bitch idiot, and then Weiss is like a cool Nepo baby who comes from a powerful family that does evil stuff. But RWBY's entire character, I think, key phrase here, I think they were trying to go for, like, you know, the typical anime thing of she just needed confidence all along. Like, she just needed to believe in herself. But like, no, she was an actual child. She just needed experience. She just needed time. So it's kind of funny. It's like, oh, by the end of the show, RWBY like gains confidence and grows up into a glorious leader. It's like, no. RWBY just became more of a human. RWBY was a child, and then now is no longer as much of one. Yang starts the series as like the edgy, I'm gonna hecking punch you character, to an annoying rat fuck bitch idiot, back to the edgy punching stuff character. She does the old Chris Chan do a 360 and walk away type maneuver. Basically, Yang is an asshole and really annoying. Then Yang loses her arm and is an asshole and is really annoying, but she's just a stupid bitch. And then Yang gets a new arm and is still an asshole and is still annoying, and it's actually more annoying now because she keeps like just bitching about trauma or something. I wish she would just shut the fuck up next time she speaks, quite frankly. Blake's the worst character. Blake sucks big ones. Blake is awful. I wish Blake died in a fire. I wish that I got to see Blake beheaded by Adam. That really would have brought the show to like perfection for me. Blake is, to sum up Blake's character arc, Blake is a cringe emo bitch fuck up loser, and essentially does nothing right ever, and is by far the least useful member of Team RWBY, and is constantly being a little shit for no reason. I think another reason, admittedly, that I have a very visceral hatred for Blake is kind of a grim reflection of the self for me. Get it? Grim. One person probably got that reference, but when I was in high school, I really was obsessed with the idea of being like a loner. I'm on my own. Nobody likes me. Nobody gets me. And looking back now as a fully formed adult, I'm like, yeah, no, I got along really well with everybody. I had a bunch of friends. I hung out with a bunch of different groups of kids. Like, I was so obsessed with this idea of like, I'm the cool lone wolf, that thank God I never got my hands on a fedora. But Blake is very much like that. Blake is like, God, nobody gets me. Nobody loves me. And everyone's like, hey, Blake, what's up? Like, we're so glad you're here, Blake. She has like a loving not only a loving family, but a loving, extremely successful family. And she's like, God, I freaking hate it here. This sucks. And then she meets Team RWBY, and everyone from Team RWBY is like, hi, we would love to be your friend, except for Weiss, but Weiss had a good reason. But like most people that Blake interacts with are like, oh, you seem cool, I want to be friends with you. And Blake's like, ugh, get the fuck away from me, God. And then Weiss starts out as a pretentious trust fund kid, but also potentially racist, but we won't talk about that. But like trust fund baby who grows to realize her family sucks and is kind of like evil, morally gray at best, and she becomes more heroic and self-sacrificing, works with the team better, and she has like an actual arc and growth that it's amazing. Weiss is also the most proficient in combat until she isn't. Characters' ability to fight in this show basically changes every single scene. Weiss is the most consistently useful in combat, but my God, this show is all over the place. Like, this show can't even decide how the shit in it works. It is just like, it's like a fucking ping pong ball. Wait, no, not ping pong. What's that game where like smelly, gross people play in an arcade and they're like, oh, the 80s were better. And that's not ping pong. What is that? When you're like in an arcade and you see that guy and you're like, that guy is fucking gross. Not ping pong. And like it was on the old like Windows 7. I'm leaving this all in. We're gonna figure this out in real time. It's not ping pong. It's where you like pull a ball and a ball goes up and you're like hitting it. What the fuck is that called? All right, I'm looking this up. Hey, it was called pinball. I don't even remember what the initial point was. I don't remember why I started talking about pinball. Oh, man. Anyways, the writers in this show are really bad at keeping track of things. Characters are always changing in ways that make no sense, changing back. Their abilities make no sense. They're inconsistent. The designs are fucking schizophrenic sometimes. And that's mainly because the people writing the show are so bad at it that they would get like laughed out of the fanfic scene. Like they would go on AO3 and people would be like, get this trash out of here. And visuals are just pure puke and vomit. I mean, these are like dog balls and ass at best, if I'm being honest. It definitely, there's an adjustment period. I used to think that RWBY had some sort of strange mystic power of like Stockholm syndrome, but what I realized is, because I'm like, every single person that I talk to who likes RWBY is like, yeah, I couldn't fucking stand it at first, but then eventually I loved it. And I realized that it takes you a good long while to adjust to looking at this, you know? Like, just look at it. You can use your eyes and look even right now. I don't even have a specific clip in mind. I would just put any old clip from RWBY here, and it looks disgusting. It looks like that. You have to adjust. I mean, listen, it's just the way it is. But once you adjust, I was going to say it's great, but no, you just like don't care anymore. I don't know. You definitely still notice it, but you're just like, well, it's fine. But yeah, no, the visuals are just terrible. And it like makes sense. This show has a budget of like $16.50 per episode. And most of the people working on it, especially in the early days, were like self-taught. So like this, you know, it's allowed to look like this, but holy shit, I can't not mention the fact that RWBY looks like just bad. Looks terrible. Looks no bueno. All right, so we got that out of the way. We got the bad out of the way. We got the hater part, which is, you know, the duality of man. It's important to have balance. It's like a relationship. You don't want to be dating someone and just have it be like great and it's so healthy. No, you want it to be like constantly hot and cold. You're breaking up and you're getting back together and you're like making a big deal out of it to all your friends. And every time you message your friends, you're like, oh my God, broke up. I'm fucking done for good. Blah, I can't do this, blah, 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 blah. And then The next week you're posting on social media together, and you like how your caption is like a bond that can't be broken, and all your friends are like, oh my god, what the fuck was I talking about? Oh yeah, so we got the hate part out of the way. Now it's time for love. This show has a genuinely magical quality to it, and I almost am not even being hyperbolic there. There's something about this show that cannot be described with words and must be experienced directly. I have yet to encounter anyone who's really able to capture in words what this show has, like the draw that it has to bring you in and become such a significant part of your life and make you love it. I'm gonna try my goddamn best though. We have to start out by mentioning one man in particular, because I think that magic came from him, Monty Ohm. He is the creator of RWBY, and it is so obvious that this man was exceedingly passionate about this project and just loved it more than we could ever possibly express. He is the pillar upon which RWBY is built, and it is a damn solid pillar. It was his baby, and it will forever be a part of his legacy. Sadly, Monty passed away. He was 33. He was pretty young, and he had only worked at that time. He had finished volumes 1 and 2, and he had done some work on volume 3, which means the vast majority of RWBY, which there are 9 volumes, was actually made post-Monty, in a post-Monty world. But his love did not die with him, which I think is an odd but beautiful testament to just human nature in a weird way. Not to get like overly philosophical on you, but it is very true that every single human, everybody watching this, everybody you've ever known, everybody will always be loved more than you will ever know, which kind of sucks, but it's true. You will never know the amount of love that the world and other people have for you. And I think RWBY is probably one of the best examples of just like the love for someone that permeated a group, because that passion, that devotion to RWBY that Monty had, it was carried on by the team after he was gone. And it is evident. Like, I know that a lot of RWBY fans like to complain that the show deviated from Monty's original vision, or just what they think Monty would have ended up doing, but that's understandable, right? It's different people working on it, and even if they're trying to, channel and emulate as much of Monty as possible, it's different people. The creative voice is going to change. And the way I always look at it is, they may have had a different destination in mind, but they are still very much traveling the same path, which is just making a show filled with love and passion and spirit. And that's like the only way I can describe this show. There's so much heart in this shit. You can't help but love it. Like, you will watch RWBY, and I swear everybody starts the same way. You watch RWBY and you're like, what's this goofy stuff? Man, this looks dumb. I don't care. I'm just doing this because I'm fucking head over heels for this girl. What is this? Man, I wish I was watching something cool like Blade 2 or Blade 1 or Twilight. But then eventually you're like, gee dang it, this rocks. It's almost like, everybody likes an underdog. Even if people like to say an underdog is cliche, everybody loves an underdog. And goddamn, that's what RWBY is. It's just like, this shouldn't have worked. This never should have worked. It shouldn't have been able to happen. And it was just like on the razor's edge the whole time. And by every conceivable metric, everything that we can like print out in a review or type out on paper, it's awful. Like, it's genuinely terrible. On paper, there's not a single trait this show has in the positive category. Yet, I adore it so much. Like, maybe, you know, my crush on that girl fizzled out and it went nowhere, but god damn it, love did blossom as a result of us meeting. It was just my love for RWBY instead of our love for each other. And you know, a win is a win as far as I'm concerned. I took the fucking RWBY in the divorce. I don't really know how to end this video. I suppose that's characteristic of a schizo rant, but if you have not seen RWBY, I would not only recommend that you watch it while you still can. Find it where you can. I know its existence is very nebulous right now with the Rooster Teeth going under, but like, not only find RWBY to watch it, but make it a group activity, because, you know, if love is going to permeate, you might as well share that with the people you already love, because why the fuck not, dude? RWBY is terrible. RWBY is so bad, and I love it. It's amazing. 10 out of 10, shittiest show ever made.